This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. I'm delighted to be joined by former cruiserweight king, Johnny Nelson. We're here at the Dillian Whyte Joseph Parker final press conference in London. How are you, Johnny?
I'm alright, thank you. It's good. I'm looking forward to Saturday night. I look at the bill, and usually you look and think, what am I really looking out for on this? I think every fight on there is going to be a buzzer, and that's not just a hard sell. Look at him: Takam against Chisora, Conor Benn, of course, the top of the bill. You've got Katie Taylor. I think they're all good fights. You've got to get there early.
Talk to me a little bit about that, because this undercard has attracted a lot of criticism. You've jumped straight in talking about the undercard. We'll come to the main event soon. What do you make of that? I mean, a lot of people are sort of questioning the validity of this as a pay-per-view. Is that something you agree with?
No, I'm not at all. Because if you're a fight fan, you know boxing. Just because it's not some massive superstar name, I get the frustration. But I'm telling you now, you look on this bill. Let's have this conversation after Saturday night. Have the conversation after Saturday night, and you realise what pay-per-view is all about. You realise what you're paying for. And at the end of the day, when you've got pay-per-view, these guys have got to get paid. And when it gets to a certain standard of fights or certain matches that are being made, unfortunately, some guys won't pay more than others. They've got to get paid somehow, and that's how it's done.
What do you make of the whole argument of like pay-per-view fighters versus pay-per-view cards, as it were? I mean, I know like back in the 80s and 90s you had those Don King cards, you had like 3 world title fights, and then sometimes today you've got like the big superstars, like your Anthony Joshua's, your Floyd Mayweather's and things like that. So it's sort of like they do pay-per-views by themselves. What do you make of that? Do you think that there's a sort of a room for both, or they're different?
Well, there's certain fighters that you can only put on pay-per-view because they command that much money. You couldn't put Floyd Mayweather on a normal Saturday night fight, could you? With the kind of money his demand. The money's got to be generated somehow. And once you get up the ranks to a certain level of notoriety, and you have the fans that are following you, the people that are paying the money, the people that want to see you fight, and you're getting paid a lot of money, you've got to get paid somehow. And cards like this give the undercard a great chance to see what it feels like, give them aspirations to think, right, I'm going to keep winning, I'm going to become a character, I'm going to become a pay-per-view superstar, so I benefit from this as well. So I get it, but it's a process, and people need to understand. If you want the likes of Anthony Joshua that everybody knows, why is he so popular, why is he so famous? Because the job was done to build him up, so there's an interest there. And so therefore, if you're paying him so much money, he's got to get paid, someone's got to pay him, it's got to come from somewhere. That's how it is.
Touching on the undercard, I was at York Hall when you were watching Conor Benn versus Cedrick Peynaud, somebody that I know you think highly of, Conor Benn. What did you make of that fight? What do you feel that Conor Benn has to do differently when he faces Peynaud this Saturday?
Conor Benn made a mistake that we all do, which is he looked past that fight. He had his eye on a holiday in Miami. He'd just come back from one or two things that he'd done previous around that. So therefore, it's a fatal mistake of a lot of fighters. Now I heard Conor Benn up there talking. He reminds me of his dad so much. And all of a sudden, I just thought, you could close your eyes and think, that's your dad speaking. But this is him. He's created his own identity. He's naturally got that bite, that spite inside him. He doesn't fight for the money, because it ain't about dough for Conor. Conor wants to fight. And you can tell the commitment he's given to this fight again. Look at the condition he's in. He has picked this fight, said, give me that fight again. He could have walked away with a win and left it at that. He said, no, let's go back. He's an honest fighter, and that's why you've got to respect him for that.
You mentioned his dad, obviously one of the most exciting fighters that this country, or indeed any country, has ever produced. Conor talks a lot about using his boxing skills in this fight, and then in the next breath, as you say, he does revert to sort of the Nigel Benn of, if I need to go for a war, if I need to do this, then I'm happy to do it. How difficult do you think it's going to be for him to keep control of those emotions in the ring on Saturday?
I think that's what they've been working on in the gym, because usually when he first started as a pro, he wanted to just knock him out, and he had to concentrate on boxing. And when he'd settled down with it and thought, this is working for me, then you saw the boxing start to come out. Conor Benn has just expressed, I can fight as well as box. And if he's going to box, he's going to box. But if you bring a fight to me, I can match you with that as well. That gives you an all-round fighter, and he's basically saying, this is what I can do.
Main event, generally billed as 50-50 fight. I speak to one person, they think Dillian Whyte's going to win, another person thinks Joseph Parker's going to win. Who do you think is going to win, Johnny?
I think Dillian Whyte's going to win. I think Dillian Whyte's going to come from behind and get a late stoppage. I think Joseph Parker will try and box him and think, oh, this is easy. Get involved. When he gets involved, they get into a habit of being involved. Box, fight, box, fight, box, fight, and that's how the fight will go. Once he starts trying to fight with Dillian, I think Dillian catches up on him and closes him down, gets a late stoppage.
Dave Higgins returned to these shores. Interview that I did with you a few months back, you labelled him a village idiot. Still hold true to that?
Yeah. And why? Yeah. And he knows that. He called himself a twat on stage because some of the stuff he say is rather twattish. So you think, come on, man, don't say stuff like that. If you know the fight game, if you want to talk to idiots that way, you talk to idiots that way, but don't talk to me and try and sell me bullshit, basically. And I was just calling him out. And I just doubted him. I didn't say anything wrong, I just doubted him. And he knew what he was doing. He's a promoter, so his job is to get the eyes on the prize, get people either taking the attention, taking the pressure off the fighter. I don't know, but he knows exactly what he's doing.
Just finally, the winner of this fight is mooted to potentially be in line for a shot at Anthony Joshua, all being well in September against Alexander Povetkin, and supposing the Deontay Wilder fight doesn't come off. Which fight would you rather see? Joshua versus Whyte, Joshua versus Joseph Parker?
I would prefer to see Joshua versus Whyte because there's history there. After the last fight, ask the public, after both last fights, which fight would you like to see in again? It'd be Whyte every day of the week because, you know, it's still bubbling there. Regardless of what you see in the media, smiling and nod or whatever, there's still an issue there. And I think if those two fight, I think they're both different fighters now. And Whyte has improved massively. So has Anthony Joshua. They've improved physically, mentally, emotionally, become men. Solid, experienced men. So it could be, you know, that's a fight I'd like to see. That's a fight I think that floats my boat.
With that being said, sort of this narrative of the winner of this fight could fight Anthony Joshua. If Joseph Parker wins this fight, the last fight with Anthony Joshua by Joseph Parker's own accord wasn't the most exciting fight in the world. Does that throw up a potential problem?
Yeah, yeah, but he said he wasn't able to box to the best of his ability for various reasons. What can you change? We don't know. Maybe he'll have to throw caution to the wind. But that's what Anthony Joshua said. He said, I actually held off a little bit. I should have just gone for it. And so the referee, I think, didn't help matters in that fight because the fight was flowing at times when he got to do exchanges. But I actually think, I think that it could be different. It could be a different fight if it came about.
Okay, well, Johnny Nelson, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to catching up with you soon. Take it easy. See you at the fight on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Cheers, John. Cheers, mate. Thanks.